Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome one and all. Samantha and I are so grateful to have you with us, and I am super grateful to have Samantha back with us this week. Last week, it was a little scary. She had quite the journey. Tell us about it, Samantha.
Yeah, thank you, Erica. It's great to see you again. It's always such a pleasure. And last week was not the biggest pleasure for me. It was certainly a journey as I found myself hurled over in pain with the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced. And I thought something inside of me was erupting. And it turns out that I had kidney stones that had lodged their way into my urinary tract, and there was an infection going on as well. So that led me to being hospitalized in a Spanish hospital for a couple of days. And yeah, they say that kidney stones is more painful than childbirth. And while I don't know what it feels like to give birth to a child, I do know that I have never experienced or couldn't even imagined experiencing such intense pain. However, I am grateful for it because there are also a lot of lessons and a lot of release that came from this situation.
Wow. Well, first of all, you're excused for being absent last week. That's a very good,
Oh,
that's a very good reason.
thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, I've heard that they are excruciating. And so, yeah, tell us what did you learn going through this process?
Yeah, there were many different layers. So there's the physical layer, something I learned physically. There's the mental layer and the emotional layer and the spiritual layer. So the physical layer it was a reflection to me, asking me, am I really embodying the practices that I teach to the utmost degree? Am I fully in integrity with my medicine and my message? And obviously not. I know that foods that are very high in oxalates can build up and cause kidney stones, like raw spinach and chocolate, nuts and seeds, tomatoes, eggplants, meat, dehydration, definitely. And that makes the bulk of my diet. And although I know water is very, very important, and I preach this, for my height, my size, and my activity level, I was definitely not drinking enough water. I live in high elevation as well. And so like the simplest thing of drink water, I wasn't doing. And so I got to
Mm.
really be faced with the facts of, hey, like you get to step up your game in the physical world and really be super present with your body and what it needs and attune to it and listen to it with the greatest precision that you possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a really, really good point because our bodies are always speaking to us. And we talk
Mhm.
about this all the time, but every little symptom that you feel in your body, maybe it's pain. Pain is like the easiest way to get our attention. But every little thing that's like not quote unquote normal, like little things like headaches, not normal. We get used to them because they can be part of our daily life, but it's not normal. It's a sign of something that's going on and it needs to be looked at and paid attention to.
Yeah,
And so, like with your kidneys not drinking enough water, I'm sure you had signs like, "Oh, my pee's a little not, it's a little dark, maybe. It's not as light as it should be," right? And that was a good
absolutely.
sign to show you, "Hey, drink some more
Absolutely.
water."
Yeah, but in my mind, it was, oh, well, stuff's probably just off, or maybe I'm just, processing some different things, or da da da. The mind makes up these excuses rather than
Sure.
the basics of, I'm a naturopathic practitioner and I know what my pee is supposed to look like. Like, let's get
Right.
real, but
Right.
it's so interesting to see the layers of denial or
Yeah.
just being not present, being too busy to tune into the body. So that was the main physical one was, Sam, get real comfortable being super still, doing nothing, and feel yourself. Then
Yeah.
on the metaphysical level, more the spiritual level, it's the kidneys represent, well, the kidneys in Chinese medicine, it's the organ that processes and holds fear and worry and anxiety. And kidney stones metaphysically is unresolved anger. And so I got to really, really deeply connect with the things that I was not processing fully, and the fears and the anger that was still really resonating in my body outwardly towards other people, specific people, very specific people, and then inwardly towards myself. Greater than anything outwards, it was the anger I was holding towards myself. And this really dislodged that. And for the past week, waves of anger and resentment and fear are being transmuted. And it's so perfect that I had to feel the physical side of the excruciating pain that was the manifestation of the emotional, spiritual side that my soul was feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love how the body makes us process. It absolutely makes us. We have to pay attention when it's like this. And it's so
Yeah.
wonderful that you can look at it in this way and understand this mental and emotional component behind it. And also realize that, yeah, I'm doing this to myself. I can do the opposite and I can uncreate this. I can make myself well. I can process these emotions, which is what you're doing now, which is
Yeah.
great. And that healing, when we do that and we understand, that healing will remain as long as we don't go back and do the same stuff all over again and start not listening.
Yeah, I've had some people reach out and say, "Oh, I've had kidney stones 3 times." I was like, "Listen, how I will not ever, there is no possible timeline where I am, yeah, having kidney stones again." Like, and that was another thing too. I really got to see the power of natural medicine, the power of quantum healing. As I was in the hospital, I had my CAT scan, I had my ultrasound, and they said, okay, you have a kidney stone lodged into your urinary tubes. There's only a 50-50 chance that it'll come out naturally. It's looking like we might need to do surgery. The doctor told me this, and I was like, oh, yeah, there's absolutely zero timelines in this entire reality where I'm having surgery.
Hmm.
A tube and a surgical instrument going up through my vagina into my urinary tube. There's absolutely no way. And there's no timeline. So I anchored so deeply into my practices. I was finally allowed to drink liquids again. So I had my water, my lemon oil, magnesium. I was doing reflexology on my feet, gentle yoga, manifestation, visualization, prayer. I went all in. And normally a kidney stone takes a few days to pass. After doing all of this, in 2 hours, I passed the stone that was lodged.
Wow. Yeah. See, the power of the mind, we can do such incredible things. And I think the
Yes.
biggest thing with that was like what you've said at the very beginning. It was like there is absolutely no timeline where it is possible where I am having surgery. Like that's not happening. I can heal this myself. Like that 50% chance is actually 100% chance as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, and I'm going to do this. And so these are the steps I'm going to take to do it. And that's so beautiful because you didn't do that whole conscious mind thing where you let the fear take over and think, "Oh god, I'm going to need surgery. What if this doesn't pass?" Right? That's
Yeah.
where like when you're not look, we were talking about before when you're listening to the physical body and doubting what you're seeing. We could have done the same thing mentally and emotionally, and thank God you didn't, right?
Exactly.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. The concept for the book initially came to me in a dream and has been followed by a next level amount of synchronicity, confirming for me that the information in the book is pertinent to get to the world at this moment in our collective evolution. In the book, I share the 8 keys to manifesting abundance that I've personally discovered over 25 years of trial, error, and deep exploration, including one golden key that ultimately ties them all together. I think most of you will agree with me that talk is a bit cheap, especially these days, and results speak the loudest of all. Well, these keys have led me to manifesting incredible results, such as an Inc. fastest growing private company, uncanny health, incredible relationships, and success with this podcast. However, I'm not any more special than you, and anyone can apply this information to achieve incredible results in their own life. I also believe waking up our planet by sharing these keys to abundance is the quickest way to help us to transition our home into the planet of paradise it is destined to become. Which is why I'd like to gift the book to you at goldenkey.gift when you use the golden key code POSITIVEHEAD. I would also like to invite you to create your own unique golden key code so you in turn can gift the book to others, as well as invite you to participate in a unique abundance manifestation game with me and the other readers that is outlined in detail at the end of the book and on the website, where readers are also going to share the inspiring results of their abundance manifestation experiments. Lastly, I'm going to practice what I preach by sharing 50% of the abundance generated from the golden game and sale of the other golden goodies on the website with you and all the other readers. So if you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD. Also, if you end up loving and appreciating your gifted copy of the book, please take a moment to go to Amazon and give it a review, which will greatly help me reach and unlock more hearts with the golden key.
Exactly. And I was glad, it happened at nighttime and the paramedics came and I denied the injection shot that they were giving me. One, they didn't speak English. Two, they were manhandling me, just super rough with
Oh
me.
dear.
And just all of a sudden, injection in bum, take your pants off. Like, yeah, like I get out of here. And so I didn't take the injection the first night. It wasn't explained to me that I had kidney stones or that I was going to be in excruciating pain. So I slept it off with the painkiller they gave me, the tranquilizing painkiller. However, it wore off. And the next morning I found myself blackout in pain, vomiting over the side of my bed, feeling the worst pain for 3 hours until I was able to go to the hospital. And I needed that. Had I taken the injection, I wouldn't have really felt the pain that my body was in. And it would have been like, okay, yeah, that was kind of bad. But going through it and feeling it for, almost 20 hours, like that completely shifted something inside of me. And unfortunately, sometimes I need to learn the hard way.
Mm.
And I think
Hmm.
the best lessons that we learn are from things that are extremely, extremely painful so that we
Yeah.
really feel what we weren't feeling. And so that I was super grateful for. And then the final lesson that came out of it, it was more on the sociological side, was I very much had a disdain for the medical system, and I just lumped all medical. It's okay. It's great for acute cases, which I now see it is. However, in Canada, the medical system being quote unquote public and free means that you wait for 8 hours in a waiting room, regardless of if you're screaming and dying. In Spain, it's private, so yes, it cost me $6,000 for all of the treatments. However, I had the top quality doctors. I had 3 doctors and 3 nurses working with me. I had my own private bedroom with ocean and palm tree view. I had a chef cook me up my food 3 times a day and bring it to me. It was the most luxurious, beautiful, like warm and supportive process I could have ever imagined. And I have a new appreciation for when the medical system is done right, and the
Oh yeah.
difference between having a Canadian experience and having a Spanish experience.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What a nice little vacation, kind of, minus the pain.
Yeah.
But but wow, how it's nice to know when you're in that kind of state that you're well taken care of. It changes the
Yes.
energy of it, and it helps
Yes.
you take care of yourself.
Yes.
It's a game changer, especially having good food that the person that cooked it for you. That's a huge
Yeah.
bonus.
And I
Um,
mean, I still saw the downsides, right? Like the food they were offering was like yogurt and different things. I just asked for just fruit, and they don't have natural medicines. There's so many gaps in the medical system where
Sure.
I see the need for integrative complementary medicine. However, yeah,
Hmm.
it makes the biggest deal when you are in an acute case. You know that, okay, yeah, having a shot of morphine, like, it probably saved my life in that moment,
Yeah.
and being in good taking good care of it definitely shifted and healed something within me.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does that. In my own hospital experiences in my life, yeah, when I've felt really like held and taken care of in that space, it does. It's a game changer. But
Yeah.
what I think is interesting that you said earlier, and I think it's worth talking about, is how we have to learn the hard way. How interesting it is that literally because we are such stubborn humans, that we have to learn the hard way. I asked this to a client the other day about like why do we doubt so much? Like what is our problem as humans? Like why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we have to do it the hard way? And that was their answer. And they were kind of frustrated when they said it. They were like, "Oh, you're so stubborn. You're just so stubborn." And really like we don't have to learn it the hard way, but we do learn the best that way. It's just that we don't have to. It's just kind of yeah, what we do and how we do learn best. And if we can look at these things that we're going through that are hard as the most beautiful lessons and turning around and being grateful for them and see how they served us because they're always serving us.
Yeah.
You know, we can look at it one way or another. It's serving me or this awful thing is happening to me. And to look at it is as how is it serving me? It changes the whole perspective and changes the whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny. Some people I know don't learn the hard way. They just kind of cruise through and it's easier for them. I don't know if it's astrological or human design. I do know in my human design, I have the lines of struggle and suffer and experiencing. Like, you need to go through it to grow through it. And you can't just mentally navigate as much. Like, you're
Sure.
meant to embody these lessons. And yeah, it's unfortunately that is the way that I learn the best. And however, from that, I know that I don't need to continue to learn that way, right?
Yes.
Like, I don't need to learn it over and over and over and over again. And
Harder
this is
and harder and harder.
exactly, and this is where
Yeah,
we can also learn from each other. Like, if I'm hearing stories of you go through something, it's going to ping in my mind, like, oh, I don't want to experience that. So
right.
I'm going to learn from her hard lessons. I don't
Mhm.
need to experience that on my own to know that I don't want to have that happen to me.
Right, which is why we talk about this stuff on the podcast,
Exactly.
right?
So
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
water, everyone. Go have a glass of water, get your magnesium.
Water
Yeah.
is life, really. Water is such a huge we are water. And water is absolutely, I feel like, the most important thing to put in our bodies every day. Without water, we'll die in 3 days. We could go without food for 3 weeks, but without water, it's only 3 days. Because that's all we are. And that's a really cool thing to think about that that's what we are is water and light really. And think
Yeah.
about how powerful that makes us. Right?
Mhm.
Think about all the things that water can do and how many different states it can exist in and how beautiful it looks in its crystalline frozen structure. Right?
Mhm.
That's what we are.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we shine with so much brilliance just like that crystalline structure, when the light shines through it. Yeah. It's so
Mhm.
beautiful.
I love that.
Drink
I
your
have that.
water, everybody.
Yeah, I have that song in my head. I don't, like the earth, my body, water, my blood, and
Mm,
that's it. We're made up of the elements.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's all
we
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 are.
are, and it's important to remember that. And like, this, like, the blockage of the kidneys and the emotions, it's like, well, where is the water not flowing through? Where am I not hydrating? Where is this emotion stagnant? And like kidney stones and this, like, that's too much fire in the body. And some of these other inflammatory issues, that's too much fire. In Ayurveda we call it too much pitta. And so how you can use the elements to really understand where you are not in balance, because what we want is harmony. We want to create that perfect balance, or like try our best to bring ourselves as close as possible when we deviate from that. And yeah, there's no better teacher than the body, because that's the way that we experience this reality. And like we keep saying, it's always speaking to us.
Always, always, always. So I just thought of a quote from the bird tribes that I just so happen to have right in front of me. And so I want to read this. The true human gives voice to the essences of all created things, but the first and central voice of the true human is the voice of the Great Spirit, the voice that says, I appear in sea, in wind, in soil, in starlight. In the sun I appear. I appear in mountains and desert rain. I am the star and I am the stone. I am bird and fish, sky and sea. One and whole, eternally I come, differentiating, multiplying, refracting like a ray of light through 10,000 water droplet prism pearls suspended in Earth's highest sphere. Shining I come, to touch the surface of this matter world in a splashing, multicolored chorus of light men and light women, created to bring beauty, love, order, and grace to this sacred dance of atomic form. Yeah, bird tribes.
Woo!
Amazing, huh?
Mic drop. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And with that, goodbye.
Exactly. I think enough said for us today. We'll let bird tribes end it on that beautiful note. We'll leave you with a song before we go. This is Ayla Nerio, Show Yourself. Until next time, love you all.
We love you.
Also, quickly, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to remind you to download the Golden Key, audio or ebook, as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the code POSITIVEHEAD. I also wanted to remind you that I will now be doing a live Q&A every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time on the new social audio app Clubhouse. I have really been wanting to connect and interact with all of you more for quite some time, and I'm super excited to now have 2 new ways to do it. First, if you're already on Clubhouse, be sure to follow me and click the little bell on my profile and select to always be notified when I go live on the Clubhouse app. And if you'd like to connect on an even more intimate Zoom gathering once a month, now you can do that too by registering at goldenkey.gift.
Birthing, I peek out from patterns, eyes peel back the lanterns. This surf is a swift one. It's a delicate thrashing, this undertow daunting. The task is at hand, not a moment too soon. When doubled and breaking, all wide-eyed and crazy, you whisper sweet somethings to the one you are saving. Your mirror in likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body the queen. I do not show the skin for you, I show myself to know myself, to show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. I do not show the skin for you, I show myself to know myself, I show for the earth from which I came. My prayers for you to do the same. All we've got, it will spread it like comfort, will Whisper sweet somethings to the one you are saving. Your mirror in likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body the queen. Your mirror in likeness, your servant in highness, the earth in one being, your body the queen. I do not show the skin for you, I show myself to know myself. I show for the earth from which I came, my prayers for you to do the same. I do not show the skin for you, I show myself to know myself. I show for the earth from which I came, my prayers for you to do the same.